hear me now?
I can hear you
Can you
indeed.
see
Thank you
my
so much.
screen? That's
We
about
can see
it.
your screen.
Slide. Okay, great. So good afternoon again, everyone. So it's very nice to meet you. Oh, wait, let me just wait a sec. Okay, fine. Okay, once again, apologize for my late. So I just got it wrong with, time because it's getting almost like 10 p.m. in Japan and my brain is like, so like if I say something wrong during my presentation, just please shout out. So, okay, let's get started. My name is Akira Ohkubo, and I am a science communicator and working on diverse inclusive museum programs at Miraikan, which is the National Museum of Emerging Science and Innovation in Tokyo. So today I'm happy to share what I learned in our journey exploring places where diverse people feel belonged to. Okay, next slide. Okay. So let me begin with a couple of words about the museum. So Miraikan means the house of futures in Japanese. We aspire to be an open platform where we explore better futures with everyone. So everyone literally means everyone, you see? So meanwhile, we develop a variety of inclusive museum programs. For example, the photo on the left shows a guided tour mainly for deaf and hard of hearing people, and the right one is a snapshot of a public engagement event that highlighted actually house-made autonomous navigation robot that mainly helps blind and partially sighted people. But what we have done so far is, of course, not enough to include everyone. So we are still in the middle of the long journey. So this model illustrates who has and who does not have access to the museum. So today I'll focus on our work with two groups of people that do not have full access yet. The group of people who have a neurodivergent group of people and a group of people indifferent to science. So first, I will talk about people indifferent to science. So this group of people matters because when it comes to numbers, they are potentially a huge group of people, as you can guess. So let's begin with this question. Why are they out of reach? So we suppose that they have never potentially visited us because they are uninterested or even don't feel comfortable talking about science in their spare time. So in other words, there is a psychological barrier. And removing this barrier doesn't happen overnight. So this means that we are in the beginning of very long procedure. So as a very, very first step, we decided to open the door to them by creating a place where they also can feel belonged to. To make such a place, we developed a special museum program about tea. So I guess now you're wondering why we chose tea. So let me explain why and the ideas behind. There you go. So actually, you can see a nice picture, including myself. This is actually a picture of my team in the museum. So anyway, in Japan, tea is traditionally brewed in a single pot for a group of people. This way, they share the taste, the flavor, the space, and the time. It also helps to form a relaxing mood, which enhances communications in a very friendly manner. In short, tea helps you spend time with others comfortably and purposelessly. And tea allows you to be yourself, you see, no matter who you are, which is very meaningful, especially in a society like Japan, where people are largely expected to follow many social rules and behave appropriately. So in this context, we set a small tea corner in the museum where people happen to drop by and have a cup of tea with others. Unlike a typical museum event, we didn't set any distinct subject. We just kicked it off with having a cup of tea together and went with the flow. So participants enjoyed as they wanted, you see? And it was very delightful to feel the cozy atmosphere and to see people naturally talk each other across different groups and even sometimes become friends. And the place was quite like a park, you see, where people were accepted to do anything. And the remarkable difference was tea. It enabled them to naturally build an instant open community. And I believe that creating such a social and psychologically safe space at a museum is meaningful because this way, no matter who they are, people can be present, communicate each other, and eventually be themselves. And another feature of tea also helped us to create a place where people feel belong to, which is the openness of tea as theme. You see, like tea is a matter of our everyday life. And as shown here, it is a fondue of, you see, diverse aspects of life. So there is no central subject or focus. So therefore, participants could bring whatever they are interested in. And this idea led us to organize several talk programs that highlighted different aspects of tea. One was about anthropology and culture, and the other one was more focusing on about science and history. And these events allowed us to successfully open the door to a group of people who had never visited the museum before. So with all this, did we manage to make a place where they felt belonged to? At least in part, having tea together helped most of us, including speakers, participants, and museum staff, to spend the time comfortably and hopefully feel belonged. As you can imagine, looking at the photo where all of them has such a beautiful smile. And of course, it's not easy to measure how effective our attempt was, but we got at least nice feedbacks from participants I'd like to share with you. For example, a participant said, I wish to attend again such a tea event. And another said, I will come back to continue our chat. And another one said, I was a bit nervous in the beginning, but ended up forgetting it because the event was fun. And another person said, it was good to see tea made a fabulous space, and so on. And on top of that, I was personally very moved by hearing a participant's voice. She said to me like this. So this museum used to be a place where I took my children on weekends for. But today, remembering my grandma was a teacher of tea, this event encouraged me to come here alone for the first time. I wish you'll have such an event again in the future. So this means like on that day she attended our event, our museum turned into a place for her, not only for her children. So this was more or less how we tried to make the museum a place where people feel belonged to. However, you see, how this happens largely depends on situations. So now I'll show you another situation I experienced when we went out of the museum. It was when we gave a course at a local school. And here's the class we worked with. They are 14 to 15 years old neurodiverse students. they all have different extents of learning disabilities and or developmental disabilities. On top of that, some of them are also hard of hearing. So they are very diverse and they need some additional supports when they study. So this was the class. And here's the story behind of how we came up to develop the course. At our museum, we have in-house research labs. And the team led by Professor Kota Minamizawa develops a communication device for neurodiverse people. And then they wanted to assess its effectiveness in a real-life setting. On the other hand, the school wanted to offer an opportunity for their students to experience science and technology in an authentic manner. So that's why our Miraikan team joined them to develop a meaningful course for the students. But what the word meaningful actually represents largely depends. So what's that in this specific context? So now I'm excited to share what we discovered while exploring the answer. Okay, so here's the device we used. There are two types. It's enough simple. The hands-on type on the left and the wearable type on the right. They work together as a pair for nonverbal communications. The left is the sender and the right one is the receiver. So you send your feeling or message by touching the sender, then the paired receiver vibrates, illuminates, and sounds in response. So this way, your message is conveyed to a person you want to communicate with. So we set the goal of the course, make music together via nonverbal communication using this device. And here's how we organize the course. First of all, we wanted to respect how each student actually feels when they communicate using the device. So we wanted them to make their music as an outcome of expressing their feelings. Like shown in the photo, they worked as a small group of students. Each had a sender and a receiver. When a student rhythmically touches the sender based on his or her feeling, a happy sound, an angry sound, or another type of sound is transferred to the receiver of the next person. So in response, this person makes sounds keeping the same rhythm. Then the next person follows, you see, until they make a round of sounds of feelings. So this way we expected them to make their own music based on what they are actually feeling. But it didn't go as we expected because they didn't manage to get into the same rhythm. We were actually like expecting originally they do, like this, like da, 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 something like this, just, make this one single rhythm. But actually what they did was like, it like this, something like this, because we thought like, this, the course kind of collapsed because the situation was quite random and even like chaotic. So we couldn't even digest what was actually going on. But, we thought like we fast, the course collapsed, but actually we were completely wrong. This is what we discovered. I'll tell you why. A teacher told us like this: imitating another person is very, very challenging to them. Why don't you instead consider they're generating their own rhythms and even music? taking advantage of this, the calls takes place based on how they're actually being engaged with the course. This was a paradigm shift because we noticed that we were unintentionally forcing them to make music all together with one single rule. But we learned that they are all different so that individuals come first, not a group of them. So first of all, you respect every single student, get to know about them, then you can start thinking about how you can work with them. So learning this allowed us to be eventually accepted to their place. So in the end, we put additional support and recorded what students naturally did and made music together. And here it is. I just brought the music. Do you hear it? Is it like, it was fun, quite. Yeah. And they made this music by themselves. Yeah, something like this. Yeah, as you can hear, it was, improvisation made from what they were actually feeling at that moment. Oops, sorry. I will go to the last slide. I will finish now. So here's the take-home message. So to make a museum or a public structure truly open to everyone, at least I believe that the place must become one where they feel belonged to. So to make this happen, you hear their voice, get to know them, and truly work with them. So with this, I conclude my presentation. Thank you so much, and I'm now excited to hear your ideas. Thank you very much again.
Thank you so much, Akira. Round of virtual applause. Really lovely to have that. I'm not sure the sound did come through. I think it was quite, if it did, it was very quiet, but maybe we can come back to that. But just to give a bit of time, I think we've got like 5 minutes or so just for any questions. So would anyone like to put a question either in the chat, or you can raise your hand and put a question directly?
Kira, can I just quickly ask? I know in the UK, a lot of people drink tea, but a lot of people also drink coffee. So culturally, in Japan, is tea the main drink?
Oh, yes. I would say traditionally, today, like, we drink a lot of coffee as well, but yes, traditionally, yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I know this is like, cultural, very, it depends on culture, but yeah.
Yeah.
But actually, can I add something small, David? Actually, while creating this small exhibition, what I noticed was actually, yeah, during the presentation, I just remarked slightly, but tea is mainly, brewed as a single pot. This is something, always for sharing. But when it comes to coffee, you make for yourself, right? So maybe like culturally, there's something slightly different. Yeah. Yeah, the meaning of the beverage.
Great. There's a question from Fiona and then Barbara, which is probably...
Thanks, Akira. It's really interesting.
Hey.
I was just wondering about, so with the tea ceremony, which I love, the idea that it's just about people feeling at home in the museum, and whether, whether people have been coming back to the museum, or whether that was something that was an aim, like is the intention that they come back and attend more things? And, do you know anything about that longer relationship? And on that, is there something around, because I think what sounded nice about the tea ceremony is that there's no expectation, and maybe you weren't evaluating or you weren't gathering feedback forms, which I think we tend to do with events. We get people to give us loads of feedback and are you going to come back again and all the rest of it. So maybe it's more open-ended than that. So I was just wondering about if people come back, or if that's just not something you're tracking through evaluations and things.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. First of all, I have to say this is this is really the beginning of very long-term project, because this is like psychological stuff. So like, especially if you want to really work with people who don't really care too much about science and technology and science museum, you first need to be really open to them, right? So yeah, that's why we began with this. So, but actually, yeah, it was really nice to hear like some people joined us. Even they some people really said like they have never been here, and they were not interested in science and technology, and they were sometimes even scared of the attending scientific events, because like they were guessing they requested to have some prerequisite knowledge or whatever. But at least like they to me, like I felt like they were really enjoying the time and in a relaxing way, and they said like they will come back, so at least as a feedback. So of course, like I don't know yet what happens next, but at least I think this was something meaningful as a first step. So yeah.
Thanks. And Fiona,
Thanks.
We got Barbara.
Yes, it's a similar question. Thanks, Akira.
Thank
I was
you.
wondering, you said people are able to be like in a park, just do anything that they want to do. And then you said you had talk programs. So what was the timing between them? I assume this was all in the same event, that people got into tea drinking and doing and talking about whatever. And at some point you had those talk program as an offer, or for everyone? I just want to picture more vividly how this works, especially in the timing.
Actually, this was this entire package program was a very temporal program. Like it was, we had it for 1 month, and for the tea corner, we almost had it all like every weekends. And for this, like we more like address to those who already have visited us for any other reason, and we ask them to drop by to have a cup of tea together. So like they were like unintentionally joining us for the event. On the other hand, this tea talk program was like more like to address really like a group of people who have like never visited us, because for the tea corner, they were already in the museum, so like they came visit us. So the situation was completely different. So for the tea talk program, like we organize as a the separate event. So they really like joined us for this event, and we offered like 2 times, like in a month. It was like kind of special like talk session. And also during on top of that, during the event, participants attended by having a cup of tea, and even like different types of cup of tea. So to get to know like what's the difference between them. And top of that, it was like there was very like the relaxing effect in the room. We really felt it. Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you so much. There's two quick comments and / questions in the chat. Just acknowledge that. So there's a question there about maybe suggesting having the tea ceremony in another location from Sarah. So that way they don't have to walk to the museum. And then Anna's asking also, how did you reach people in the first place as well? And then I really want to get people to breakout rooms, but Ampus, I wonder, are you happy to share your question and then maybe we can let people percolate on that question and we'll go into breakout rooms? Would that be okay?
Sure. So do you want me to share it now? I just want to ask, it's similar to Anna's or Melange, which is, I think that belonging starts before you come to your institution. It's a relationship that is built before, right? In the change of accessibility, we build those relationships before. So I'm curious to know, what do you do before they came also? And how do you see belonging for people who has never been at your institution? But it's very complex because I'm very curious about this. But whatever time allows us. Yeah.
Very good question. Akira, do you want to give a 1-2 minute response to that, or do you?
Oh yeah. So okay, so that was a question. I'm sorry, like I didn't. Yeah,
it's very simple. Do you build relationships before they come? If so, how do you build those relationships before you?
Oh yeah, but before yeah, that's a that's a good question. With the relationships, yeah, because like to address this question, this issue, you know, as I showed, we organized the tea program, right? So we were like we were kind of. I think you see, our museum is at least like known for by people. You see, it's a national museum. But the point is, like, they know us, but they don't visit us because they don't like the theme, I would say, just shortly. But if we can propose a theme that interests them, you see, non-very scientific theme, but like something related to their real life, you know, which could be included in the theme of, you know, wide theme of tea. So like we expected, you know, this could serve a channel, you see, to maybe even before like building a relation with them, but just as a hook, you see. Then once they are in the museum, we can, you know, we can have a tea ceremony or like another activity together to build or like even make stronger this relation. So that's what I think. But yeah, this is what we tried this time at least.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Akira. Not an easy question to answer. I think that's the golden question for many. But perhaps a good reflection for us to go into the breakouts. So I'm going to remove the pin. I'm going to